Hey everyone, today on People Now, all the must-see moments you might have missed from the biggest stars at the People's Choice Awards.
Talk show host Tamron Hall opens up with new details about when she left the Today Show.
What does the future hold for Real Housewives stars Teresa and Giudice's marriage after that family trip to Italy?
How did the first order come about?
New details about the big adventure in store for fans in the new Star Wars series, The Mandalorian.
Well, Chuma, you have some New York in you.
Elephants, Rob Lowe, and Christmas. Kristin Davis is here talking all about her new movie, Holiday in the Wild.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Here we are. Doing it.
Excitement for
Made it through the
Monday.
weekend. How was your weekend?
I wasn't feeling the best.
That's right. You've
We
been
were both
recovering
out,
from
yeah, but I feel really great now.
Okay.
You were in LA.
Was in LA, Frozen 2 premiere. We had such a good time with that cast, and so I'm sure I'll be talking about that for days because it was really fun.
Yeah.
Good weekend away, but it's good to be back. And guess what? In LA last night, really huge night for pop culture. Kevin Hart made his first public appearance Sunday night since his September car accident. Hart accepted the award for Comedy Movie Star of 2019 at E's People's Choice Awards that was in LA. He walked out on stage to a standing ovation and referenced the accident in his speech. Watch.
First and foremost, man, thank God because I definitely don't have to be here. Being that I am, it makes me appreciate life even more. It makes me appreciate the things that really matter. Family. I want to thank my wife, my kids, who really stepped up to the plate for me.
Getting really honest there, Hart also thanked his fans for all of their ongoing support, saying, quote, "I truly want to thank you guys for being there in my difficult time." On September 1st, Hart was a passenger in his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda when his friend who was driving lost control and crashed through wooden fencing around 1 a.m., and Hart had to undergo emergency back surgery as a result of that. But in the latest issue of People, a source explained that Kevin Hart has been determined to make a full recovery, adding, quote, "It's obvious that his determination has helped him tremendously." Obviously, really good to see him out on that stage and doing well. And also celebrating a night out at the People's Choice Awards was Pink's kids. She really made it a family affair, hitting up the carpet with her husband, Carrie Hart, their daughter, Willow, and son, Jameson. Pink wowed in a black suit and blush blouse, and the rest of the family coordinated in matching black suits. We love the look, with Willow in a multicolored dress. Sure, the kids had fun seeing their mom crowned the People's Champion. It's gotta be such a fun event for them to go to,
yeah,
right?
and they're so cute.
And they can see all their, I'm sure, a lot of their favorite stars. Pink gave an impassioned acceptance speech about how every individual can help change the world.
One person can make a difference. You feel like you don't matter, feel like your life doesn't matter, get involved. You can't tell me Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, Gloria Steinem, Anita Hill, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Malala Yousafzai, Greta Thunberg. Tell me one person can't make a difference.
Pink continued saying, in part, "There is so much to be done. I don't care about your politics. I care about your kids. I care about decency and humanity and kindness. Kindness today is an act of rebellion. It feels good to help. Stop fighting each other and help each other." She always gives such empowering acceptance speeches, and her kids are just so cool, just like their mom, right? Like, honestly, like the
Yeah.
coolest kids ever.
They really are.
So iconic. Also iconic is Gwen Stefani, who received the Fashion Icon Award following Victoria Beckham, who was honored last year. Gwen wore custom Vera Wang, accepted her award while calling out her boyfriend, Blake Shelton, in the audience.
Blake Shelton, look. Icon. Wow, this is hard to digest. I feel like I just always loved fashion. It was one of those very instinctual things.
What a great look, right?
Yeah, I love the boots. I love the gloves, that dress.
Yeah, Gwen credits her love for fashion to the fact that her mother, grandmother, and her great-grandmother all sewed clothes. So Gwen shared that her favorite thing to do is actually go to the fabric store with her mother and pick out different looks. She adds, quote, "It was always there, so the fact that this is happening now, it's hard to imagine because it's just what I do."
Yeah, she looks so good. So in honor of Gwen taking home the Fashion Icon Award, we want to see your favorite gifts of her looks. Send them in using the hashtag PeopleNow for a chance to see them on the show.
All right, we're going to check in on those a little later, but for now, we move on to this. Former Today Show host Tamron Hall is opening up about her shocking 2017 exit from NBC, describing that experience, according to Vulture, as painful but survivable, specifically because it had nothing to do with Hall's performance. While speaking at a panel at the 2019 Vulture Festival on Saturday, Hall told the moderator, Tracy Clayton, quote, "They wanted something that wasn't me. Hall was offered a chance to remain at NBC in another role, but the longtime journalist who had previously held positions at MSNBC Live and Dateline opted to walk away. Hall reveals that it was an easy decision to make because there was no other option. She explains, quote, "It wasn't that I did not know my value, it's that others did not know my value." Her time slot co-hosting today's third hour at 9 a.m. was, of course, given to Megyn Kelly. Now, while Hall did not address Megyn Kelly specifically by name during her appearance, she did reportedly make a bit of a jab at the former Fox News anchor's reported sizable payout from NBC. She said, "I did not have a $69 million contract. No shade to anybody who does, but if you do, give me a loan." That was her comment. Kelly had a brief tenure with NBC. Her Today Show hour was canceled in October 2018 after she received immense backlash for questioning during a segment whether wearing blackface as part of a Halloween costume was actually racist. She apologized for her comments before her exit from NBC was later finalized in January of 2019. Meanwhile, Tamron Hall has since returned to TV in her own self-titled syndicated talk show. We've been watching it. You probably have too. She told People in September that she feels at peace, and with a new husband and a 6-month-old son, she says that she's never been happier. Good for her. All right, on to this sad story. The cause of 13-year-old Broadway actress Laurel Griggs' death has been revealed. Griggs' family told the Post that she died on November 5th in New York City, and that's according to Page 6. The teenager was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital, and doctors were unable to revive her from what we now know was a massive asthma attack. In a Facebook post on Sunday, her grandfather, David B. Rivlin, said this: "The world lost a real princess who only wanted to make the future happy for all. Acting was just a childhood dream come true, and she had big plans for the future." She's best known for her role as Ivanka in the Tony Award-winning musical Once. She performed the role for 17 months between 2013 and 2015. Then in 2016, she appeared in the romantic comedy Café Society alongside Steve Carell, Blake Lively, and Kristen Stewart. She was also featured on several episodes of Saturday Night Live. Following news of Griggs' death, Young Broadway's Twitter account shared a tribute to the rising star, writing in part, quote, "Laurel was a brilliant young lady. We send our condolences to her loved ones at this difficult time." Of course, we send our condolences as well. Just a heartbreaking story there. And Andrea, you have more for us in Star Treks.
I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with one family reunion we've all been waiting for. People has confirmed that the Giudice family trip to Italy has come to an end. On Sunday, Teresa Giudice and her 4 daughters left Italy after visiting family patriarch Joe for the first time since he was released from ICE custody in October. Their eldest daughter, Gia, shared some photos of her dad on her Instagram story, hinting that they wouldn't be apart for long. She captioned one selfie, "Love you, see you soon." It was a quick trip for the family, who arrived in Italy on Thursday. They documented their time together on Instagram with several family photos. Now, they've been separated for over 3 years since Joe first went to prison in March of 2016. Teresa and Joe have been married for 20 years, though they have been living apart through the ordeal. Joe began a 41-month prison sentence for mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud in March of 2016. And before that, Teresa served a little over 11 months in prison for the same crimes and was released in December of 2015. During a recent episode of Watch What Happens Live, the couple revealed that they weren't making any decisions about the future of their marriage until after they spent time together on this reunion trip. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, seeing as how they sent a camera crew to capture all the action. So we will know. All right, on to this. Matt Damon stopped by the Ellen DeGeneres show in an episode airing on Monday to talk about everything from his new movie Ford vs. Ferrari to his heritage. The talk show host also brings up the fact that Matt's friend Chris Hemsworth claims Matt is bad luck in Australia. Watch this.
I stepped on a snake the last time I was there.
A python, a huge python.
Yeah, like an 8-foot python.
Right.
And I was getting out of a car. That's how many things in Australia are like crazy.
It's just
getting
like
out of a car in a neighborhood that was bordering a little kind of area with like trees going down to the beach. And we were going to the beach, and we were going to hike down this little trail. And I got out of the car, and I stepped on something that felt like a giant piece of wood. And I looked down, and it was a snake that like that.
And what did it do when you stepped on it?
It didn't even really notice that I was on it. I jumped off of it in my flip-flops, and it just kind of kept going.
I wouldn't be wearing flip-flops if I were you.
Well, I was going to the beach. I
know, but it's Australia.
It's true. It's
the last
true.
time you were there,
full armor at all times.
Yeah.
Ooh, close call there.
The flip-flops changed it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And Matt goes on to explain that the last time he was in Australia, his daughter actually got stung by a jellyfish. So no wonder Chris says he has bad luck. But Matt doesn't seem to have bad luck here in the States. He even got the chance to ride along with the iconic race car driver Mario Andretti while promoting Ford versus Ferrari.
One of the things they said was, "Do you want a ride along with Mario Andretti?" And I was like, "Yep." Absolutely. And he was doing it he did about 40 of them that day for people who, you know, were somehow...
Like you're behind him. It's a single...
It's a two-seater car, yeah. So that he sits up at front there, and then you sit in the seat behind him. And
what was that like going 200 miles an hour?
It's indescribable. It's what... And I talked to him after. He's lovely, and I mean, he looks like he's about 55 years old. And I mean, he's just he's taken incredible care of himself. And he said, I love doing this because it's the only way to kind of express what this sport is to people. Like, you have to feel it to understand.
That must have been such a thrilling experience.
Yeah.
And Ford versus Ferrari hits theaters November 15th. All right, High School Musical, the series, launches this week, so naturally, nostalgia is in the air. And no one is more nostalgic than High School Musical alum Vanessa Hudgens. One video she posted to Instagram this weekend says it all. Take a look.
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
That's a High School Musical classic right there. Vanessa posting that video along with the caption reading in part, here's a really bad, aggressive, and totally sober version of Breaking Free. And she added, it hurts my ears, but also makes me laugh. I think it's so cute.
It really is.
Vanessa's career launched in 2006 when she played Gabriela Montez alongside a very young Zac Efron in the first High School Musical. The pair went on to successfully make sequels, High School Musical 2 and 3. But the original was a global success. As of 2019, over 225 million viewers have watched High School Musical. Wow, that's a lot of people. And soon, a whole new generation will be watching the series on Disney+. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, stay with us. Kristin Davis, she's going to be live on our couch. We're very excited for this. She's got a new holiday movie with Rob Lowe. You're going to love it. Plus, it's the latest installment in the Star Wars universe. We're getting the details, everything you need to know about The Mandalorian coming up in just a bit.
All right, we've been asking you to send in your favorite gifts of Gwen Stefani's iconic fashion moments. So let's take a look.
Since she won that fashion award at the People's Choice
yes.
Awards. That's a good look, right? Throwing it back a bit. Yeah, it's funny because she's got the iconic like music
The
video
high
looks
pony.
and then the red carpet,
Yeah.
or pink carpet looks in this case.
She's also got the best hair.
I've been saying this because my wife and we love watching The Voice. Every night on The Voice, it's like a whole new concept for her.
Yeah.
Fully dialed in,
Full
an
theme
entirely
and
different look.
everything.
Yeah, it really is. All right, keep sending in those gifts, but for now, we switch gears to this. Watch.
Imagine sailing around the world, living that free-spirited, good life. That's what this young entrepreneur did. And then he completely disappeared.
His family was very worried. There's only a few emails to explain what's going on.
Vanished is the latest episode of People Magazine Investigates Season 4. It tells the story of Christopher Smith, a tech entrepreneur who dreamed of making money and surfing off into the sunset.
It seemed that his dreams had come true, but all was not as it appeared. At first, Chris's family got upbeat email updates from him as he embarked on a round-the-world adventure. But after a few questionable emails and not seeing Chris or hearing his voice, his parents started to really question where their son was and if he was okay.
Yeah, as the investigation into his well-being started to unfold, evidence pointed to a much more sinister outcome than anyone had imagined. Learn more about this case when People Magazine Investigates Vanished premieres tonight on Investigation Discovery.
All right, everyone. Meghan Markle did not stand with Queen Elizabeth, Kate Middleton, and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, at the Remembrance Day service on Sunday. And I gotta tell you, some royal fans wondering what's going on with this.
Yeah, but it wasn't a slate against Meghan. It all came down to space. During the solemn ceremony honoring those who have lost their lives in World War I, the Queen, Kate, and Camilla stood together on one balcony while Meghan watched from another balcony.
Yeah, as the balconies of each window are small, it's nearly impossible to fit more than 3 or 4 people on each. So there you have it. Nothing personal here at all, just a matter of space.
You don't want to be too crowded. Here's another interesting tidbit. During official events, the royal family also arranges themselves according to a royal pecking order. Now, this is according to Joe Little, a royal expert and the managing editor of Majesty magazine. So this isn't the first time Meghan wasn't on the same balcony. Last year, she watched it with the German First Lady.
So this time she stood by a pair of much more familiar faces, the Queen's daughter-in-law Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Sir Timothy Lawrence, Princess Anne's husband. And during Sunday's event, Meghan wore a belted black coat with a wide-brimmed hat, also wore red poppies. That's a symbol of remembrance for military members who have died in war. Meanwhile, Prince William and Prince Harry joined Prince Andrew in laying wreaths of poppies.
They said you were coming. They said you were the best in the parsec, Mandalorian. Look outside. They're waiting for you. Yeah?
I'm so pumped for this. Set 5 years after the destruction of the second Death Star and the fall of the Empire, Disney Plus's new live-action Star Wars series follows one lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, the Mandalorian.
Yeah, we caught up with writer, director, and producer Jon Favreau, who told us why this was a story he wanted to tell.
I was inspired by this time period because I hadn't seen anything on the screen that covered what happened immediately after the Empire fell. And so the idea of what happens in those 30 years between when the last Death Star gets blown up and then before Episode 7. How did the First Order come about? The new Disney Plus platform seemed like a wonderful opportunity to tell a chaptered Star Wars story at the same scale as a big screen, but big screen production. But because you're able to tell it over eight different chapters, it gave us the opportunity to tell it in the serialized form that I think inspired those cliffhangers that inspired George Lucas originally. So we were able to put a really big adventure on screen.
The Mandalorian is being called an American space western, and it has a very star-studded cast to match. Here they give us their take on their iconic characters.
The Mandalorian is a character, I would say, built on these icons of film history that we find in some Akira Kurosawa samurai movies, Sergio Leone, cowboy western, spaghetti western, a lot of moral ambiguity.
We have all of these marshals who are given different areas to be the top cop in, but I know my character, Moff Gideon, has other ideas, and he could be a savior.
If you knew the atmosphere and all the people and all the characters, just looking around, every time I went into work, I felt this is what Star Wars is, and just looking around, it was insane.
They make me very excited to see this. New episodes of The Mandalorian will be released weekly on the service, the new streaming service, Disney Plus. It all starts tomorrow. Guys, check that out.
Kalama, Walare, Chuma.
Right now we have 3 babies, 4 teenagers, and 3 adults.
Everybody, this is Dr. Kate.
Hello.
Hi.
That is Chuma. She's practicing to be a matriarch.
Wow.
Come on, Chuma.
She's very curious and very bossy.
Well, Chuma, you have some New York in you.
Look at all those elephants. Holiday in the Wild is streaming on Netflix now. And here with everything we need to know about it, the amazing Kristin Davis. Welcome.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
An elephant with a little New York edge.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So, of course, the first thing that I want to know when watching was how many of these elephants are you actually interacting with? How many are animatronic or CG, or what's the deal?
The deal is that all those animals are real. There's twice in the film that we use a puppet that is then CGI in post, because it was a traumatic experience could have theoretically been a traumatic experience when the mother, the initial finding of the baby.
Right, some
we
key
didn't
moments
wanna,
that
exactly.
are,
It was far away from where the babies lived in Zambia, and also, so getting the elephant there would have been a problem, but also we didn't want to put it next to even a fake
No, that makes
mother.
sense, right.
And you were very adamant about not using trained elephants.
Correct.
So why was that so important to you?
Because trained elephants have been broken. Unfortunately, it's a sad truth, as have, the history of the entertainment industry and animals is not a great one.
Not a good one, yeah.
So we're trying to change that, and my feeling was that this film was my love letter to all the people that I've met for the last decade who are trying to save elephants from extinction by raising the orphans of the elephants killed for their ivory, poached for their ivory. So I wanted it to be like a love letter to them. They devote their lives to it, and there was no way that we could do that with trained elephants because it would be opposite in fact. So we really worked with Netflix for years. I mean, I worked for a few years before we got together with Netflix, and then we worked and I researched the 2 places that we filmed for years to make sure that they were ethically correct, and they were amazing.
Wow, that's great.
And then I had to go down there and convince them to let us film.
Oh, okay.
Which was a whole
And you
other
did it.
challenge.
You went.
Oh, yeah, I had to do it because I was an elephant person.
That's great. And you know what? I love that you're using your platform, kind of setting an example here. An actor coming into a set, you've got influence, and you can make, insist on some things. That's a great
But you know what?
example.
It's only because Netflix said yes, and because Netflix understood when I called them to explain to them why we couldn't film somewhere that had been already suggested.
And they got it.
They did.
Yeah.
And not only did they get it, but it took more money to film Our Way, and they gave that to the budget.
That's incredible.
that is. Yeah.
That's great. So we know that elephants have amazing memories, and
Yes.
they're very relatable
Yes.
and community-driven
Yes.
creatures.
Family. Yes.
Did you connect with a particular elephant? Did you have moments like that?
Absolutely, so many,
Okay.
first of all. So, you know the huge elephant that's in the
Yeah.
scene with Rob and I? His name is Sabakwe, and he is amazing, and he is an unusual elephant in that he stayed with his family the whole life. They came from Zimbabwe to South Africa. They were going to be killed.
Wow.
And usually the males go off on their own and the females run the family, the matriarchs. But Sabakwe has stayed, and he's a gentle giant, and he is the largest elephant I've ever been around in my 10 years of working with elephants. And he was the sweetest elephant.
What are the rules with interacting with an elephant that big, right?
The rules are that you're very, very quiet. The people who taught me, the Sheldricks at the Sheldrick Foundation, the Sheldrick Trust, in Kenya, they told me, Dame Daphne Sheldrick told me that an elephant reads your soul. So that when you meet an elephant, you need to stand still, you need to take a deep breath, and you have to let the elephant come to you. If it's not a wild elephant, you don't want to go out in the wild and do this. But if it's a nursery elephant or a situation where keepers are around and they're helping you with this interaction, so you let them come to you. They're going to read your soul. They're going to come and they're going to sniff your feet because they learn
Ooh.
about you through your scent.
I'd be nervous then.
No, it's
think
not.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
I know, but I just think part of me, maybe it wouldn't, maybe I would feel different, but the thought of
You
like
might,
that and
you
just
might,
like, okay.
you might.
Maybe if you like spiral, they're gonna sense
Well, then I would say to you, breathe.
Yeah, right.
Breathe, and then you'll feel better. And the other thing is that then, they're so playful.
Mhm.
They might just do something kind of funny and silly because they might feel your anxiety. But the other thing I would say is that they are communicating with each other through deep vibrations that our ears can't pick up. But your body can kind of feel it, and it's almost like being in like a meditative state. And when I watch this film, we call it Ellie drunk. I'm Ellie drunk through this whole film.
Wow, that's really interesting.
You're around them and your body's responding to it even though your ears can't feel it. So you would probably relax just from that.
Yeah, that's so cool. I want to work with elephants now.
I know.
You
And
should.
now we're prepped. We can do
You
it.
guys could go to Zambia to where we filmed and volunteer.
Wow.
That's I honestly really
want
to.
Yeah, it's called Game Rangers International. It's right near Lusaka, which is where you fly into Zambia. Zambia also has a beautiful Victoria Falls. But they've been there doing their work with really very little attention or funding or anything. So they were so wonderful to work with, and I'm so pleased that we got to shine a light on what they're doing. And they've had 2 rescues from poaching since we started airing on Netflix on the 1st of November.
Wow, doing so much good work. And now let's transition to this good work with Rob Lowe.
Yes.
And previous good work with Rob Lowe about 20 years ago, Atomic Train. You guys, this is a bit of a reunion,
I know,
right?
it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're very opposite projects.
What
very
did you
opposite
remember
projects.
most about working with Rob Lowe and then, coming into this set like, oh, I remember this from the last time?
Well, I had seen him
Yeah,
since
of
then,
course.
and I've worked with his brother since then. But the thing that I most remember, we were in Vancouver, it was pouring rain, we were in the mud a lot. And at one point, he would come to the set in like a Prada raincoat. And I would say like, Rob, you're wearing a Prada raincoat. Everyone else is wearing like North Face. It's muddy. Like, what is going on? And he was like, my wife trusts me.
Wow, that's funny. We're well taken
And now
care
I
of
know
over here.
Cheryl, and I totally understand.
Okay.
She takes care of everything. So
That's pretty funny.
Yes. So I went to Cheryl for advice on Johnny Lowe, who plays my son in the movie, because I knew that she could help me. Because I have small children, not big children, who are going to college, and Johnny is older, obviously. So I went to her to ask her about her advice in terms of different things.
Yeah.
And she was super helpful.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, looking back to when you first worked with him and now, how have you two changed the most?
Wow, I'm not as intimidated. That would be the first thing, because really I had a lot of times in Vancouver, I was like, I can't believe I'm just standing here next to Rob Lowe. Oh my God, what am I supposed to say? I was kind of like that.
I bet he felt a little bit the same way.
So not. If you ever meet him, you'll understand. No, Rob's been working since he was like 8 or 9, which is very, he's seen it all.
Takes a lot to shake him.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, though a very, very large elephant the size of this room is enough.
Did that shake him a bit?
He was cautious.
Okay.
He was cautious, which is smart. Which is smart.
Yeah,
He doesn't
definitely.
know
See,
what
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's a huge creature. Like,
Yes.
let's don't put off the wrong energy.
Totally.
Let's talk about this. You recently opened up to people about how you would love to see your Sex and the City character, Charlotte, head to maybe a foreign country, work with elephants. I don't know if there's a theme here.
I don't know.
Or work with animals, at least.
I don't know how that story happened.
Yeah, right?
I fell right into that trap. That
Look,
writer.
but
I'm not going
really-
to be too mean right now.
So many people, though, would love to see
Yes.
some more Sex in the City. Do you ever think there's a possibility of a spinoff, whether or not, maybe even just your character?
I'm going to be in so much trouble.
But say it anyway.
Okay, so in my mind, and this is what I need to say clearly, this is only me, okay? It's only Kristin.
Yeah, this
And
is
I'm
you
an
sitting around
optimist.
having tea and thinking about things.
Right. It's not like factual or Warner Brothers or anything like that, okay?
Just you.
Okay? It's only my fantasies. And I have a fantasy. I'm going to tell you. I know this is now going to be a story. I have a fantasy. My publicist is going to kill me. I have a fantasy that we could be a musical on Broadway.
Oh.
I could see it.
Wait, that was a weird reaction. That was a weird reaction.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
No, I want it to
What
happen.
were you thinking?
No,
Okay,
I wasn't thinking that.
No, I think that was like
You were
a-
like, oh.
No, because I wasn't thinking that, and I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I would like it. I think
could
it would
be
do
good,
really
right?
well.
Because Mean Girls apparently
Yeah.
is great, which I haven't
Killed it,
seen
killing
yet.
it.
Would you
Right?
want
I
to
think
be
that was
in? Would you want to be in the project, or would you, want to be
that's a
in
good
charge
question.
of
That's a good
casting?
question. Everyone else can sing. I can't sing that well. When we had to sing, the woman song. I'm a woman. What's the song? You know, Helen Reddy. Sorry,
Okay,
you're too young.
sure.
We had to go
I'm every
into.
woman.
We had excellent. No, not
No.
that one. But
Okay,
close.
well, okay.
Anyway,
was a try.
Sarah came in and held my hand in the sound booth because I was so scared, which was really sweet. She didn't sing with me because she'd already done her solo, but she held my hand. So everyone else can sing. I could just possibly have a comic. You know, you could do like that comic kind
Yeah.
of like talking,
The comic
singing.
relief and like, yeah, oh yeah, the
Right?
talking singing. Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
People
yeah.
do that, right?
Absolutely.
I could
Who's
do
the
that.
best singer?
Sarah Jessica.
Okay.
She's sung on Broadway before.
So she'll have right.
She'll
So
be in it. You'll have a little bit part, but also be in.
No, I did
you'll
not
produce.
say I would have a bit part.
it's a big part, just not a lot of music.
Yeah. I did not mean to say that.
Let's be clear.
No.
Okay.
No. We're all in it. In my
Okay,
fantasy.
got it.
In my fantasy. Okay.
Actually centers around Charlotte.
No.
Sorry.
We're all there. I just want to say again that it's my fantasy.
Okay, got it.
It's not real. All right. Unfortunately. But in my fantasy, we would all be in it, and it would be great because part of the reason I say that is because we would be able to, when you're doing live theater, you can really be with your fans. You know, live theater and the fans, it's like a very strong connection because that show only happens that one time in front of them. The next show will be different. You know, so it's like a very live happening experience.
And immediate response and everything.
Well,
Yeah, work
can't
the
wait to see
crowd.
that on Broadway in a few years.
All right.
So, time for a game.
Ready for a game? Here we go.
Oh my God,
Okay.
game. I'm very scared.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite games here.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called Fish and Dish. I don't know if you're a good fisherman or not. It actually has no bearing on this game
I would
whatsoever.
not kill a fish.
If you reel in a purple fish, you have to answer a career question. Red fish means love life. Yellow fish, miscellaneous. Orange fish are for party questions. And green means you get to ask us a question. We suggest you don't do the green.
Yeah,
It's always a
no one
disappointment. So
Let
ready?
down.
And
I'm
here we
just
go.
gonna put this
You just get
down.
one and we're going to ask you a question.
I don't know what
Look at right away. Whoa. Orange.
Whoa.
Okay, where's orange? Party question. Go ahead.
Yeah, at a party, you can most likely find you where?
In a corner.
Okay. Oh, you're not the middle of the dance floor? You're the wallflower at the party?
I'm probably trying to have a deep conversation with someone in the corner of the room.
Or you're frantically
Yeah.
pitching Sex and the City on Broadway?
Yep.
No,
I'm
that
just
was
kidding.
only for you guys.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I'm even
right,
happier
let's
now.
do another
Okay, here we go.
one.
Time for more.
I can't remember what all the things are except you said no green.
That's the only thing actually I want you to
There we
remember.
go. Red.
Red, love.
Love life.
Okay, here comes.
no.
Ideal date night.
It fell down.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay.
ideal date night.
Oh, ideal date night. Quiet dinner, good Italian restaurant. I can eat the excess of carbs I would like to eat and not be concerned about that. Good conversation, laughter, home early.
Home early, okay.
Yeah.
And then to bed early. Like you like to full, tight 8 hours, good to go. All right.
All right, thank you so much for stopping by. Never end. Make sure that you catch Holiday in the Wild. It's Streaming on Netflix now. For more information
Oh,
on
you guys are very
conservation
funny.
or to learn how you can help, visit GameRangersInternational.org.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let's move on to this real quick. Hulu's new comedy series is called Dollface. It drops its entire first season on Friday. When I sat down with the cast in LA, I also asked Kat Dennings about her place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the Kat Dennings, big fan over here. All right.
She was on Sex and the City.
Yeah, did some Sex and the City stuff.
She was like 11.
She was 11 at the time? Okay. But fond memories nonetheless. In case you haven't heard, she is reprising her role from the first 2 Thor movies in Disney Plus's new series, WandaVision. Watch this. What can you tease? Anything?
What can I tease? Literally nothing.
Yeah. Who did you love kind of, getting on set with? And great cast, obviously.
amazing
Wilson, Paul
cast.
Bettany, you, Randall Park,
Amazing.
Catherine Hahn.
Oh, Gavin Hahn. Oh, mwah.
I know. I asked her the same thing. She won't tell me anything about
I can't tell anyone anything. I signed so many NDAs, I don't even know my own name anymore.
Yeah.
But I will say it is unlike anything Marvel's ever done. I've never seen anything like this. It'll be. I mean, it's the first of its kind.
Well, we're all
That's
just.
all I can say.
We're all just fanning out and salivating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
Is
actually
he a
a huge statement.
WandaVisionary?
It's a statement. I stand behind it.
And having done the
As a fan of the films and everything.
And this is someone who's come through the Thor world. To say that's a huge statement, for sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
A big feat.
New Thor movie, Natalie Portman coming back into that world.
Yes.
What's your reaction to that?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I've heard that I'm in it, but I'm not. I don't think.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't think so. They don't tell anyone anything, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm so
petitioning.
excited because she's Thor now.
The mighty lady Thor, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's right from the comics.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see her kick some ass because she's a little firecracker.
By the way, I think it's shocking to hear that there's sometimes the actor would be the last to know. Is that
100%.
how it works in this kind of world? Like it could literally be a last
I
minute thing. Like, hey, we
could
need you to shoot.
I
like
don't know. I don't think so. But I don't know.
This. Okay.
Or are you lying to us?
Is
No,
this
I'm not
right? You guys know. You can
imagine?
see the tells.
You know I'm not. My contact falls out.
It's like dead giveaway.
When
obviously.
I lie, my eyeballs fall out of my face.
The contact will peel off.
Sly.
These ladies have so much
Yeah.
fun. The Dollface cast was incredible to chat with. The show premieres this Friday on Hulu. There will be more of my interview with them later in the week on People Now.
I wanted to love you as much as I love you.
Emmy, I got this.
Hey, Dad.
Welcome home, sweetie. This must be Matt.
Oh, cop car. It's like I'm a perp, you know? And you're just,
But what makes a variant happy? I don't know. I'm kind of a natural happy person, to tell you the truth.
That's a tough question.
Backed up by a lucky life.
You know what? I'm going to take that. That sounds nice.
I guess friends and family.
Yeah.
I like the quality time with the peeps.
I do love holiday.
Yeah, Netflix's Merry Happy Whatever. Dennis Quaid plays the patriarch of a family coming home for the holidays, including his daughters, played by Bridget Mendler and Ashley Tisdale.
Now, we all remember Ashley from Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and High School Musical, and Bridget from Disney Channel's Good Luck Charlie, which led to her music career. But when Merry Happy Whatever came along, Bridget was actually in grad school at MIT, not looking for acting roles. Watch this.
I mean, they literally called her to come because she was like, she didn't even audition. She was like in college. She was like definitely not looking at anything. You have to tell them the story.
It was just really funny. I did do one audition, but I didn't come out to LA. I just like put a little thing on tape, and then I wound up actually getting it because of a reel that Brent had. So Brent, who plays my boyfriend on the show, we worked together previously. He like proposed to me in this one scene, and they're like, "Ooh, we want that girl." And so then they like hired me. They didn't hire Brent yet, and so they made him like do more auditions. And so then they called me when they said that I got the role, and they were like, "What do you think of this Brent guy?" And I was like, "He's awesome." They're like, "Should he be on the show?" I was like, "Yes, of course." And so then he wound up getting on the show as well. And so now we talk about it as like this funny thing where we both helped each other out to be here. But yeah, I was not having my radar on acting, so it's been the most awesome experience, and like I'm so glad to now have this
works
family
with her
of the
schedule
show.
too. She's able to go to school at the same time because we filmed in the
break.
summer. So
it was perfect.
Christmas morning, I'm gonna ask Emmy to marry me.
I gotta be careful about who I let into this family.
I just need to prove that I'm good enough.
I'm sad.
Any requests?
Do you know the song Not Now by You?
Your characters go through a lot of milestones over the holidays. What's the biggest thing that's ever happened to you over the holidays?
I've broken my leg, busted my lip, broken my collarbone, all on Christmas Day. Because everybody's got to get out there with the
Some people went outside.
The toys, yeah, you go outside, it's a problem. And Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without an emergency room visit.
What is that? That is a good question. You got some good questions. We're stumped out.
I was thinking of, so it was kind of tied in around the season where I was first getting to know my husband. So we had this epic holiday party at my house, like right when I was getting to meet him. And it was like an ugly sweater party, and him and his buddy showed up. Like they were game for it. Like they wore the ugly Christmas sweaters. And then, like, classic, because I'm a total nerd, this is how I, get attracted to somebody, is over talking about books. So he and I were like having a great conversation about books at the holiday party. And then on New Year's, like after that, we kind of were like tied at the hip. So that holiday season was like a really special time for us.
One New Year's, I really learned a lot about myself. I think that I had a lot of stress at the time, and I've actually talked about it in the past with my album Symptoms. I'd gone through a lot of anxiety, and it was actually New Year's Day that I realized, like, oh, I might have some dark stuff that I need to like kind of deal with. And it was like leading up to that around the holidays that like kind of got me there. And it was just one of those like life-changing moments where I was just like able to be like, okay, cool. And I like really worked on myself and came out on the other side, which is pretty awesome.
I do feel though, like going through that time, you do come out with like something really beautiful and wonderful. Cause like when I had those same feelings, it was, right before like expressing a whole new musical side of myself. And it sounds like music was a huge part of it for you as well. And so like self-expression and sort of like that being the flip side to sort of the darker fears around like who you are and facing that.
Yeah, cool, it comes out beautiful.
Your character has a journey of self-discovery this season. We won't spoil it. It doesn't have to be on the same scale as your character, but what was a time in your life where you kind of struggled with your own identity?
I think that would be the time, yeah. I definitely, I think it was just, I had anxiety and obviously bits of depression for a long time, and I just didn't know it. I was very like unaware of it, and it kind of just came to a head at New Year's. And obviously Kayla goes through something I have never gone through, but I definitely emotionally could relate to that moment where I'm like, okay, this is what this is. And I, kind of embraced myself and embraced kind of even that side, because I think that it's a beautiful side of me as well. Like no one's perfect.
I love hearing her open up about that.
Yeah.
All right, now Dennis Quaid plays an overprotective dad in the series, so we wanted to know if he's overprotective with his own kids in real life. Now he's got 12-year-old twins, Thomas and Zoe, from his marriage to Kimberly Buffington, and 27-year-old Jack from his marriage to Meg Ryan. So here's what he had to say.
Just kind of like the usual. Everybody goes off their own childhood, I think, when they're parenting or whatever, or they're in reaction to their own childhood when it comes to parenting, and just try to be as easy as I could at the same time. I like discipline, though.
So Dennis' character, his love interest, is played by Garcelle Bouvet. We love her, one of the new Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on the upcoming season. Watch out for that. So how do Dennis and his co-star, Brent Morin, think that she's going to fare as a Real Housewife?
That's crazy. I just learned that too.
Yeah, I just heard this last week. I'm not going to make any predictions. I have to see this. I think she'll be fantastic though, because she's just herself.
Yeah, she lights up a room.
Yeah, she does light up a room.
I'd love to be in it. That'd be funny for me.
Now, Dennis Quaid got engaged last month to PhD student Laura Savoy. So we asked him to share with us what he loves most about his new fiancée.
She is just the most fabulous, wonderful, deepest, sweetest, funniest, very intelligent, gorgeous, loving, caring. I have a lot of adjectives. She's an incredible person.
Yeah, good adjectives as well. One of Dennis Quaid's most memorable roles, as you'll remember, I'm sure, was 1998's The Parent Trap, where his twin daughters, played by Lindsay Lohan, tried to get his character back together with their mom instead of their dad's 26-year-old fiance, played by Elaine Hendricks. Dennis's real-life fiance, also 26 years old, there's the connection. You may have seen when Elaine made headlines for tweeting her response to news of their engagement. She said, watch out for those twins. So has Dennis seen that tweet for himself?
You know what? That actually came out, and we just happened, Laura and I, to be in Napa, because I did a couple of music gigs up there, and we went to the Stagland Ranch where we shot Parent Trap, the house, and we have a picture of us in front of the house that we want to send to Elaine.
I love that. That's crazy time.
I love it. All right, Ashley Tisdale and her husband, musician Christopher French, married 5 years ago in September. So we were curious how they celebrated their milestone anniversary.
I've been busy working on this other show, so I was like I didn't have like a big space, but we just went to Santa Barbara and we got married in Montecito, so we got to go to like, you know, the restaurant that we went to for wedding rehearsal and kind of just like take a little getaway for the time that I did have off. So it's just like really nice, and you know, it's for us, it's just like 5 years is a long time, but it's just like we love just really being able to like kind of adventure. We don't really take a lot of vacations, so it's like for us, when an anniversary comes around, we're always like, oh, let's go to Big Sur, let's go here. It's like one of our favorite things to do.
And you just got married, congrats.
Yeah,
What's the biggest change in married life?
Oh, man, I think it's wild that he's my family now.
So crazy.
I know, we just like said that to each other the other day, because it's like, you know that you are invested in this other person and you are fully invested in spending the rest of your life with them, but the switch from being somebody that is like apart from you that you love to somebody being a part of you that you love is like, it's super trippy. I think there's just something really deep about marriage, and so that's cool to experience. And also the process of getting married, like all the friends and family that just like showed up and helped that to happen, that was like very meaningful for me.
And make sure to watch season 1 of Marry Happy Whatever when it drops on Netflix November 28th.
All right, now we switch gears to a very serious story. Watch this.
They just started hitting the car at first, like with a bunch of bullets. Just started shooting rapidly at us.
13-year-old Devin Langford sharing his story of survival after his mother, Donna, and 2 of his siblings were gunned down by what authorities believe were drug cartel gunmen in Mexico.
Devin and his father, David, sat down for an exclusive interview with ABC News, where Devin revealed that the last thing his mother said to him before she was killed was to get down right now.
She was trying to pray to the Lord, and she was trying to start the car up to get out of there.
Devin says the gunman had long guns, and after the shooting, the gunman had the surviving kids lay on the ground. Then the gunman just drove off.
Devin was physically unharmed in the attack, but his sister was shot in the foot, and his baby brother was hit in the chest. He hid his injured siblings in nearby bushes, then made a 6-hour trek for help, fearing for his life the entire time.
And Devin tells ABC that he doesn't feel like a hero, but his father said there's no doubt in his mind that Devin saved lives. He says, in part, every one of my children that survived are living miracles.
In total, there were 9 women and children killed in the ambush. Devin's family were U.S. citizens but lived in a Mormon community called La Mora, located in the Mexican border state of Sonora.
The attack took place less than 100 miles from the Arizona border in a territory plagued by several cartel disputes. Authorities say it's possible the family's vehicles were mistaken for a rival group and that the attack was by cartel hitmen.
Despite living in the area for decades, David and much of his family are leaving because they say the violence has become unbearable. He says, quote, "It's not worth living in fear." And he adds, "The toughest part for me was saying goodbye to 2 innocent lives that were cut short and a vibrant wife that lived life to its fullest." Our hearts go out to that whole family as they deal with it. It's just unimaginable.
I know.
Yeah, as they move forward. All right, coming up tomorrow, guys, we're talking with country music's Carly Pearce. We're asking her all about life as a newlywed. We're getting details on her new album as well.
Plus, Bernie Madoff's great niece joins us to share how her family has worked to move past her uncle's crimes. Thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from 4 of the coolest women on HGTV. Bye.
Guys.
Hi, we're the cast of HGTV's Rock the Block.
And this is one last thing.
One last thing.
Last time I got my hands dirty was
I mean, that's like every day, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
My last girls' night was tonight.
Oh, that's fun.
Tomorrow, I get to say.
With you guys. What was your last big splurge?
My G-Wagon.
I don't splurge on much. Anything that was my last splurge was probably for Jack, my baby.
My last splurge was my dog. $250.
Aww.
I don't believe you. He was extra because he has 3 legs.